Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
We welcome now the Wellington representative from the Greater Wellington Regional Council, Penny Gaylor. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, John. Hi to all the listeners. Of course, I'm calling you from home, like the vast majority of us in isolation, but finding plenty to do.
Yes, indeed.
Never been cleaner. boy, have I got the certain little lovelies in my bubble are busy.
Yes, well, that's wonderful. I think there could be some positives to come out of all of this. You know, it's interesting how there seems to be a certain recalibration going on. Not all of it bad. However, I'd just like to ask about the regional council. If it's still operating, how it is operating.
Yes, I think that's interesting to talk about. So for me as a representative, my life's changed, but I'm not in and out of Wellington a couple of times a week and then doing, catch-ups with people around the Kapiti coast, wherever it suits to meet with them. Doing the business, available to do the business by phone, by email, text me, however you like. In terms of meetings with my colleagues, so now we do this thing called Zoom, which is all my friends are doing Zoom catch-ups. It's not just for the workplace too. People are using it in all sorts of ways. So, for example, I've already done a few of these Zoom meetings. Yesterday I had one with, there was 8 of us in the Zoom meeting. There were 3 of us elected representatives. There were 3 staff members, and then there were 2 people from the Whera Residence Bay Association who, we were having a meeting to talk about the discharges, unexplained, unacceptable discharges that are going from stormwater to the stream out into Whera Bay. So we did our, the group manager pulled together an agenda for what we would cover to keep us focused on our discussion, and we were on our Zoom conference. And so the screen, for those who've never used it, essentially it's like what we used to see at the start of the Brady Bunch. And so I could see,
yes, right,
so I could see everybody's face, including my own, so you can never get away with an eye roll these days. And I'm sipping my coffee, going, "Oh, that's really obvious. I sip my coffee, isn't it?" And you can kind of do little thumbs up, or you can send, waves to, "Oh, me next. I want to chime in. I've got a question." Right. And also, if you, like a couple of them, like myself, had young people in our bubble. So the couple of the officers were saying at the start of it, now I'll be putting my noise on mute. I've got some people who like to fight at this time of the day. Cool. Yeah. So it's funny because at one stage I was having to wave and going, yes, you can have that. As little people appear at the door with something from the fridge going, can I have this? Yeah. What a cunning time to ask if you can have such and such out of the fridge, I reckon.
Oh, they're learning well, aren't they?
Yeah, they're learning well. And I just, as a little aside, the funny thing was at the end of the meeting, very serious business, lots of technical stuff covered. What are we going to do about this? Yep. And then we do the wrap up at the end, and everyone goes, "Yep, anything anybody wants to cover off, comment, blah blah blah." And we come around to me, and I go, "Oh, I'd just like to say, I think I kept my cool pretty well, despite the fact that as we were having a meeting, I saw out of the corner of my eye a mouse run across my lounge."
Excellent. Penny, could I ask whether your technical people have vetted Zoom and whether they think it's okay? It's just I've been reading up, since I was talking about the program with Teresa Uratia from SeedingItNet, I've been reading up some concerns about privacy issues, and I was just wondering whether it had been vetted by your technical people. Apparently there's ways of tying it down so it's more secure.
Yeah. So, in fact, we've had that covered off by our Democratic Services manager, who just yesterday emailed to confirm the precautions we're taking. So when you get an invite, like you get this little email invite from whoever's set up the meeting for us, and it puts in your code, and in a separate email you then do the password type thing, or whatever our security measures might be, we have a two-tier security measures so that just the right people are getting into that meeting. I would have thought it would kind of be quite obvious if there's this ninth person, you're going, sorry, who are you?
Yep.
And of course, when we go to having our council meetings next Thursday on the 9th of April, we're going to have our first ever public formal council meeting on Zoom.
Wow.
We've changed the legislation to allow for this. We've changed our standing orders to allow for it as well. Mm-hmm. So that instead of all having to be in the room to be considered part of the quorum, we can all be coming in through Zoom or whatever platform, and we will be counted as a quorum. So when we had to have an emergency meeting before we went into lockdown, there were 13 of us, 7 of us had to be physically in the room. We had about 2 metres plus between us all, and we Zoomed in the other 6, and so we were able to sign off on our kind of end of the equation at that point. But the Minister and the government has taken it further that we've got emergency powers to be able to do our business. We're not going to doing all the little rats and mice things at the moment. We are just focused on what we absolutely need to be carrying on with doing in terms of any kind of response or whatever related to the pandemic, but that other bits of work still need to carry on for our lives. You're making sure that we don't, kind of drop the ball in any other kind of way. So, that's how we'll be dealing with our business for council next week. Lucy, in terms of talking about Zoom, well, see, that's a public meeting. So I guess if there's any kind of hacking, I don't know, really do people we can't get people to come and see us anyway.
Sure.
I doubt anyone's going to want to hack us.
No, I think it's an excellent initiative.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and all sorts of people are using it. So, people are adapting really quickly, but of course people are still saying, the first thing they say is, oh, it's really nice to see you. I'm just missing people already. There was my morning, meeting with one of my colleagues talking about some environmental things this morning, who, Thomas Nash, who's new onto Regional Council, so I miss seeing people. It's like, because lots of us are people. So that's that side of the business. And then, of course, public transport. So it's still going. We need to keep, having our public transport services there and available for people who are primarily going to their job if they are essential workers. And so instead of the high-frequency service that we've been priding ourselves on that we've got to with our trains and buses, we have got the Sunday-only service, but this means, we've still got the service going. And then also the fact that it's all free, and underpinned by the support and the finances of central government, we are all working together. I have to say it's very heartening to see how well agencies, different kinds of government, local, central, whatever, we're all just getting the job done and working together. Let's hope that doesn't change.
Let's hope so. I actually used on Tuesday, I used the public transport, and I must say it was superb. What impressed me was the way you are protecting the staff, the bus drivers and the train staff. There seems to me to be absolutely no peril to them at all in the way you've set it up.
Yeah. And so, for example, that's why, it's free, is so we don't have to put any of the ticket collectors, in the line of fire, so to speak. And you don't have to have any contact with the bus driver. And then, so there's that part of, your experience when you're travelling. That's how we've managed to do that. And then the other thing is that, every night that bus and that unit, they get sprayed. They get cleaned and sprayed. So this process called fogging, where somebody kits up and, totally head to toe, very well protected. And they go in with a machine, which I would liken to, looks like a kind of a slightly bigger version of a dustbuster. And they go through the unit or through the bus and do this fogging that, somehow, whatever it is that's in there is, going onto all the surfaces and killing any bacteria, virus, whatever it might be doing, the bizzo. That's how that process is working.
And it is working, apparently.
Yeah, Yeah.
Great.
So these are very, we would be absolutely making sure that we get that right. And I have to say as a feedback, that every different bus provider was immediately on the same page about, now we'll do that. That's how we're all doing it. That's how we'll all do it. Nobody is being difficult. Everybody, right across, gosh, isn't it that heartening? Private sector, public sector, whatever.
Yes.
Everybody gets it and is not quibbling. But they're just going, right, that's what we need to do, we'll do it.
And it's wonderful to see. Thank you very much for joining us, Penny. It seems to be going pretty well so far. Let's hope it continues.
Yeah. So I'm glad that local government's playing its part. A very interesting place to be. Lots, the world's shifted for us in lots of ways, so it's going to be a very interesting and busy next couple of months as we assess how we need to be part of the economic recovery post-lockdown period.
We live in interesting times. And thank you very much for keeping us up here at Beach FM. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
106.3 Beach FM.